So in this video I want to talk about my tier list for all the business skills that I believe are more valuable and some are less. In this tier list we're gonna assume that you're a business person, you're starting out, you're somewhere like in the middle. I would not assume that you're running a company that has already employed 1,000 people. If your company employed 1,000 people, probably skills that you need to have and the tier list will be a bit different. But in general, I believe every business person, if you want to start a business, right, not just study business administration, like this is not a video about which degree to get and which kind of specific niche to work, but overall business things that you gotta figure out. You gotta acquire those business skills so you can become successful in business. And quick reminder, yes, business is an art. So some people may do negotiation better than marketing. Some people do sales better than management of informational system. So it depends on you, but I believe some business skills pay off more than others. So if you're lacking in one of the most important business skills, take your time, study them, get them done. So we're gonna start with the most important business skill that I believe is without it you cannot do anything. The technical term for that is called volition. Volition is basically the power, the hustle that you have to put in to get things done. You have to know how to motivate yourself. You gotta understand the intrinsic factors that are causing you to work, and you gotta understand why from outside, from the environment, you maybe don't want to work. If you figure this out, you understand that you have to eat healthy, that you have to do sport, that you have to have the right environment around you. Yeah, you gotta have good sleep, and you have to just believe in yourself. Yes, just believe in yourself. Then you'll get the highest form of volition and you can actually work. And that's why I believe without the skill, all the other skills are not unnecessary. So volition comes on the S tier. The second one is marketing. And I believe marketing is a useful skill. With marketing, you can market your product. If nobody knows your product, nobody can buy it. I still believe that there are some skills that are more valuable than marketing, because in the end what marketing does is they give you much traffic for the product, but each company has some sort of marketing anyways. If your product is good enough, marketing will spread in itself. So you don't really need to figure out how to do marketing in this case. You just have to do the sale. If your product is not so good, you gotta be even better in sales. But here again, marketing doesn't matter as much as other skills. Also, depending on your business model, etc., there's maybe one person who does like the broader marketing perspective of it, but usually you will not keep thinking about marketing tactics here and there the whole time. Nowadays, everybody wants to work in marketing, so you can also get very cheap marketing force. So they keep thinking about the creative stuff. So I believe the skill is not so valuable in terms of that, but still super necessary for your business, obviously, to grow and to getting some sales. That's why I believe marketing goes to the B tier. Next one on the list is multitasking. Multitasking is not so essential because most of the time you should actually just focus on one task at a time. So you can get 100% out of that. And usually if you do multitasking, you will never achieve deep focus and you will get a lot of deep focus shit done. But there's a bunch of tasks in business that just need to get done. And most of the time they are very repetitive things. So multitasking in that sense is really good if you, for example, have to reply to emails, but at the same time you receive some WhatsApp messages from clients. You're thinking maybe of something and you're journaling at the same time. So if you do a very simple task and you do a bunch of them, it's very good to get into a flow state when you multitask, because sometimes maybe you answered all the message already on WhatsApp and then you gotta wait. But instead of waiting, you just multitask and do other tasks beforehand, before you receive some messages back from WhatsApp and you continue typing on WhatsApp. So multitasking goes to the D rank. So what about management information system? It's such a valuable skill nowadays since all businesses getting digitalized, and you have to understand how to automate things in your business. All the things that I'll mention and I will mention can be automated, and computers, robots, IT can do most of the time the job even better than humans. So when we spoke about marketing, if you know how to use informational management systems, you can set up very good IT solutions so you can automate most of the marketing things and you don't even have to think about it. There's websites that create different texts as marketing campaigns. You don't need to learn much stuff about bookkeeping. There are platforms where everything is automated and they will literally customize it to the location that you live. So that's why I believe management information systems, especially because it's a very hard skill to learn, goes to the A rank. And yeah, you gotta learn it. Next one on the list is bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is important in the end. Nobody wants to do it, but you have to do it. The thing about it is that it's kind of hard to learn it, and the most essentials that you will learn is to keep track of the most relevant data and to understand how much money is coming in and how much it is going out. If you understand this thing, I believe that you can hire a bookkeeper. You can get them for very cheap as well, and you can outsource that thing. Again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be completely aware. You have to know how much money is laying in your bank account and how much approximately will go out the next month. So you never run out of that. And you should always have the only control over your bank account. If you ever give control to somebody else, to your bank account, then you want to understand more about finances, etc. So you understand that they won't trick you here. Yeah, since I said bookkeeping is kind of important and you have to report it in the end, but it's not like, it's a hard skill, an annoying skill basically, and only some type of people are doing that. But there's also actually a bunch of people from the Philippines, India, who would love to do bookkeeping for you for very cheap. That's why I believe the skill goes to the C rank. Next one on the list is economy. If you're learning business, you're also probably interested into economy, into the bigger picture of things, into all those business use. I'll tell you up front, I believe economy goes on the F rank because most of the things, if it's nothing so major, will not affect you too much. Like there's maybe like one event that is worldwide that can affect your business. Let's say for example COVID. But all of the other news and bigger understanding of this, like you don't need to understand how money works to make money. You don't have to understand how inflation works to make money, because that has nothing to do with business skills. It's a different area. It's about personal finances in the end. And also, as I said, you can always hire a bookkeeper or somebody in the finance section, and this person can basically keep track of you. It's nothing that pays you so much to understand big economic theories. And also, as the last contra argument, like even if you understand economic cycles, you will probably not do another decision based on them. I mean, okay, America is going down, Europe is going down. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go to China now and open up your business there? No, because there's a bunch of cultural differences between them. We like it here, it's still working, so good. We are still going here. And if you live in a poor country somewhere, you kind of understand that the economy is not so good, so you will not be wondered about it, and you don't have to study economy. You even have that in your intuition that you have to go into a more stable economy. So yeah, as I said, F rank. Let's talk about communication. Communication is essentially one of the most important skills that you have to have in business. You want to have good written communication. Nowadays, especially in the digital age, you want to be able to present yourself well so you can sell something or you can sell an idea. You want to have good oral skills so you bring your message across pretty well. And also you want to understand how to behave in the social setting. So you have to understand how to be professional. You have to understand how to be precise, how to be direct, how to be demanding but not be pushy. All those skills are super essential to getting things done in a team, or if you want to get something done one by one. Business is all about managing people most of the time, and you want to do them as effective as possible. So that's why you have to learn communication to get everything much more better done. Communication pays in the end pretty well. It even starts with like replying to your supplier. You want to understand that nobody wants to wait for you like 10 weeks until somebody gets a reply. Like you have to understand of basic communication skills that when somebody's writing you, you want to answer them, you want to get the reply back, you want to have thanks, best regards into your emails and all of those things. It's nothing that you have to reinvent. It's something that you just have to do and that you have to do well, because in the end it pays well, and we all love to work with people that have very good communication skills. So communication goes to the S rank. Next one is supply chain management. Supply chain management is important if you're doing e-commerce and you are selling physical products. You want to understand where they're coming from, how the process is going, why delivery takes long, etc., etc. I still believe the skill is not so important, because overall after a while you will learn why things are like as they are, and I wouldn't figure them out myself. Nowadays there's so many good solutions out there of warehouses that will manage everything for you. I would not even start to consider doing everything by myself, even just for the simple reason that if I want to grow, I would rather rent myself like a small place in a warehouse, and whenever I can grow, I can basically expand with one company instead of me shifting like completely my warehouse to another location. I believe there's so much more growth in other aspects of the business instead of supply chain management. And again, when you're big enough, you can always hire somebody to just work solely for you, and then this person can do it. I believe that it's a skill that you don't necessarily have to learn. You have to just get a consultant in the end, or somebody that you hire if you need some extra tips. But until then, just work with the external supply chain manager. So supply chain management goes on E rank. Another skill that goes on E rank is growth hacking. Growth hacking is important if you're in Silicon Valley or somewhere where you build like a startup and you don't care about making money, you just care about growth and getting a big user base as fast as possible. This skill is super necessary in these instances, but we kind of don't understand that those businesses, those startups that can grow into $1 billion company within 1, 2, 3 years, they are so little. Most of the companies that exist outside of that, they are cash flow businesses. They have to be financed by your own cash flow. Or maybe you can get an investor there, but he will not accept just growing. He also wants to see your finances growing. It's not about just the user base. So yeah, growth hacking in that sense means that you have to understand how to market the product and basically get as fast viral as possible. It kind of goes into marketing, but it's just specifically thinking about, okay, how to grow things as fast as possible. So I believe the skill is not so necessary, because most of the time you have to grow your business slowly so it can stay stable, and also you can be sure that you can take money out of the business. So not super useful skill for a lot of entrepreneurs. That's why it goes into the E rank. Next one on the list is time management. Time management is important because you have to get things done on time. If you reply somebody even like 2 days later, but the etiquette in this sense would be maybe like within a day, then they won't like to do business with you. Very easy. Or you have to get something done on this day, but you don't know how to manage your time. You don't know how to set priorities. Maybe you're just working on busy stuff, but you don't know what actually the deep work stuff is. So you're just wasting time. Time management is important. That's why it goes on B tier. What about negotiation? Is negotiation important? You will negotiate on every instance in life. You will negotiate in business, but also in private. There's always a negotiation going on, even though maybe you don't see it as a negotiation. Basically, you're explaining your side, you're selling your point of view, and the other person is selling his or her point of view. And then you come up to a good conclusion. If the good conclusion is something in the middle that benefits you both, that's good. And the point about being a good negotiator is to express the needs that you have as well as possible and say your arguments, and then on the other hand downplaying the other arguments of the other person, so your side are kind of better than from the other and you're winning most of the things. I personally believe that negotiating is important, but it's not as important as people think. Like, we all have some form of negotiation in our blood already. I believe communication in that sense is more important, like being able to express what you need. but you don't really need to negotiate so hard that somebody feels like in the end he's losing, even though a good negotiator would not let this happen. That's why I believe negotiation goes to C rank. Next one is leadership. Leadership is a useful skill. In the end, if you want to grow a business and you don't want to just work self-employed, you want to know how to do leadership, since you will hire people who want to work for you. I believe leadership is important. It has basically all the necessary things. The only reason why I don't want to put it on C rank is because I believe that with the right salary and with enough taste, you can always get somebody who wants to work for you. Doesn't matter what. Yeah, you want to fulfill like the most important things, but if you just pay somebody well enough, like the person will keep working for you. Doesn't matter what kind of leadership style you have or how you do leadership. But if you want to be super successful in your business and you want to actually outsource pretty good and have like a second head who keeps thinking with you, you gotta have a good leadership style, so you will get the full potential out of this person. Also, you will appreciate your time more, since you will spend your time not just alone working on your business, but you actually have like a companion, and your journey will be less lonely. So leadership goes on A rank. Next one on the list is ethics and awareness. And I believe this skill is important it became important in the 21st century, where a lot of social justice people became ruling and everybody wanted to be included in that. I kind of understand it, but it went too far. Nowadays, the topic's more about including everyone. Doesn't matter how smart they are, doesn't matter which kind of skills they have, just to reach a certain quote. The cool thing about that is that this is only important when your company is big enough. Like for my company, I only had like one instance where this one girl was like asking me if I have a certain quota of women in my company. That was ridiculous, because my company is not like one of the biggest top 500 Fortune companies. Like, what is she expecting? But overall, it doesn't happen. It only happens with a bigger company, and then you can always hire somebody in that sense who will take care of those things. It's nothing that you have to learn for yourself. So for the beginning, that thing doesn't help you anyhow in business. That's why it goes on F rank. And why do I even include this thing into our ranking here? Because I was looking up business skills. Probably that's also what you will do if you're looking for business skills. You not just only watch this video, but you're gonna go on Google, you're gonna just check out what other people have to say. And I was looking up this business skill, and I was like, what the fuck? Why is that even included? Okay, I'll include it just for the sake of it. So I'll receive some hate comments under that, and my video might go viral. Next one on the list is Microsoft skills. Probably if you have been in school, everybody told you Microsoft skills will be super important. You gotta know how to use Word, you gotta know how to use Excel. And I believe those tools are necessary. Nowadays, we have also other options where we can write text and where we can do Excel sheets. I believe some fundamentals we have to have, but it depends on the job that you have, whether you need them or not. If you do a calculation, where do you need to do a calculation? If you want to do bookkeeping, then you have a bookkeeping software with whom you can do calculations. If you want to write text, yes, you can use Word, but I'm taking, for example, all of my notes on a note-taking app. So the last time I've used Word documents were for company files. But even there, we could use another task software, and I'm even thinking about them, and changing all the Word documents to the new files there. In general, what I also mean by Microsoft skills, and what other people probably mean by Microsoft skills, is to understand how to format the text, how to make it more beautiful, how to save files, and all of that. But I believe it goes more into the management informational system, that you understand how to use technology nowadays, and it doesn't go directly into Microsoft skills. So that's why I put Microsoft skills on D rank. Next one is project management. Project management, super important as leadership, but leadership goes more into. Project management is about understanding how to set up a project so the team can get it as fast done as possible. And probably you heard about some skills as the Six Sigma. If you learn the skill, you will understand how to optimize the project management if you divide every step into a certain section, and then through the section you have different questions that you question yourself, and when you understand them and if you follow this chart, you'll be much more efficient. The same goes for setting milestones. You want to understand how to set the right milestones so your employees are reaching them. You want to understand the right deadlines. Most of the time your employees will not reach them, so you want to have a second deadline, and you want to understand the different time frames. You want to understand if you can push somebody more and somebody less more. You want to understand that you can do multiple things at the same time, and also everybody in the team is aware when everybody is doing something. You want to be able to delegate tasks very efficiently, and then also redelegate if you're seeing that somebody's faster with the task than somebody else. So project management skill, super important, though I believe if you have the right communication and also the right management style when it comes to leadership, then most of the things can resolve itself. Maybe you'll get the project done within 5 days instead of 4 days. I cannot say that this skill is more important than the other skills before. That's why I put it on the B rank. Now another one of my favorite ones, strategic decision making. Strategic decision making goes on S rank, obviously. How would you do any decision if you wouldn't be strategic in that kind of sense? You have to understand when to do the right decision at the right time. There's a bunch of different tools that you can use to do the right decision making. I have, for example, a list, and I made a video about that, where I have, for example, 7 questions that I ask myself every time like a bigger question comes up, so I resolve it as fast as possible instead of relying on my intuition. Other skills that you can have is, for example, inductive and deductive reasoning. Another skill is to differentiate between strategic decisions and tactical decisions. Strategic decision making and just like decision making in itself is also just the art of something starts to burn inside your company that you can react directly and you understand how to do the right choice here. You also learn there to stay clear-headed so you can focus on the most essential things when you do the decision. And in the end, like decision making, strategic decision making is about making the right choices for your business so you can grow the business. Like just think about it. You start a business and you do the decision to just focus on sales. That would be one of the stupid decisions that you can do for your business, since your business relies on multiple things, and it would be much more strategically if you would do them all at the same time in the beginning. Then over time maybe you can specialize into something more and just focus on this business area when all the other things are working in your business. But the business usually does multiple things at the same time. The business has to do marketing, sales, customer support, bookkeeping, business development, all at the same time. And you gotta be aware of that. So yeah, that's where strategic decision making goes, S rank. Another skill is customer support. Customer support is essential. If your customers are not satisfied, then your business will not grow. But I believe customer support is not as important as you might think, because depending on the business, but maybe up to 10% of your customers will complain or will have a question. If you do the marketing right, you can basically answer most of the questions that they have already upfront, so the customer support doesn't have to do anything. For those other 10% of people who still have questions left, again, depending on the business, you can set up automation and answers. Like after time, you will just realize, and that's not a big skill to learn, they will ask me about the delivery time, or they will ask me where this product is produced. And then you see, since the same questions popping up, you can basically write all of that down into the FAQ section, for example, on the product page, and then you will receive less messages. Still, the messages that you will receive, it's not such a big skill to know how to answer them. Like here in this sense, you again have to understand how to communicate well, but in the end you can automate that. Good morning, sir, blah, blah, blah. I understood your problem. Here's the solution. Best regards. I hope I could help you. That's it. That's how usual customer support reply is looking like. That's not such a big skill. And also you can outsource that skill later on for very cheap. That's why I believe customer support goes on D rank. And the last skill that I put on my list is networking. And you might wonder where I put networking. If you have seen, actually I haven't done a video about that yet. I'll do another video about that. Differentiating between the poor, middle class and the upper class. The middle class likes to achieve things, whereas the upper class likes to network. And there's a reason for it. Like, you can achieve so much in your life. At one point you want to rely on other people so they can achieve for you things and your finances will grow. In the end, it's about hiring the right people. It's about setting up the right contacts with the right companies, working with the right companies, getting into the right circles, finding the right business partner, finding the right mentors, coaches, people who inspire you. And that's what you can only do with networking. You have to do networking in all stages. In the beginning, you gotta network so you can even understand that there's certain ideas, business models out there that you can do. Then later on, you wanna network to understand how the other business people are doing certain things in their business to optimize it faster. If they tell you they do it this way, they have already figured it out, and now you can do the same thing without keep questioning it. For all of those reasons, I believe networking goes on S rank as well. So yeah, that's the list. If you don't agree with something, I'm really happy if you would write down in the comment section down below what you don't agree to, or maybe what I forgot. The more comments you write, the more likely this video goes viral, and other people can also benefit from this list since they will understand where to put more focus on and where to put less focus on. I have this goal on YouTube to actually reteach people to not just believe everything what they listen to or just like passively watching YouTube. But from my videos, I try to teach them how to strategically think about everything that you're doing so you understand what the most important things are and what other things you should avoid, because those are already the extremes and you should just play by those later on. Strategic decision making in the end is about doing the most essentials in the beginning and focusing on them. And when you get them done and when you play already on the highest rank possible, then you can focus on the 1% that will separate you even more from the rest. But we want to get you first here to the highest level form of the 99%. So with that being said, like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button, and I'm gonna see you hopefully on the next video. Cheers.